Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. Let's talk about all the quarterback experts and all the experts that don't follow the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I like Chucky, Jon Gruden. I didn't think he got a fair shake at all. That's a totally different video, but I always like the Chuckster and his enthusiasm for football and his passion for football. But sometimes these guys say things and it just makes you wonder. He's very skeptical and doesn't know what Pittsburgh's plans are at quarterback. Now, I don't expect him to follow the Steelers, but the Steelers know exactly what they're doing at quarterback. They're going into the season with Mason Rudolph, and they have no problem doing it. And why is that? They spent a lot of first-round draft picks on offensive linemen who they really need to pan out. I'm really speaking about Broderick Jones. Everybody else is playing pretty solid. I've watched some of Broderick Jones play after play, and I'm telling you right now, it doesn't look good. It's not anything other than effort. There's some plays he doesn't know what he's doing, and when he doesn't know what he's doing, you know what he does? Nothing. He whiffs on. He'll purposely come out of his stance and whiff on a block. Won't put a shoulder pad on anybody. That's an effort issue. And if somebody has to question your effort in the NFL, you're in trouble. And he does it a lot. Here, I'll make it real simple. As an offensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if any of you are watching this, if you don't know what to do on a play, find a guy in an opposite color jersey and hit him. It's that simple. But Broderick doesn't do that. He never does it. If he does, you'll see him talking to the offensive lineman, almost like he doesn't know what's going on. And then if he doesn't get the answer that he likes, he purposely whiffs on the block. So the Steelers we all need for Broderick Jones to do well. I want him to do well. I want him to get his head out of his butt and give more effort. He has all the physical tools to be great. But the Steelers are not really worried about their quarterback position. They're not. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign, oh well. They're perfectly prepared to go at Mason Rudolph, and I don't blame them. And another thing, Will Howard is not coming into camp and just saying, you know what? I'll just be the backup. I don't care. That's not his attitude. He's coming there to win the job. He's coming there to compete for the job. It's not even a guarantee that Mason Rudolph is a starting quarterback in September, and I like it that way. I like the unsettlement due to competition. It's not like you have Big Ben. It's not like you have your franchise quarterback that you know is the guy and you're not really worried. So if it's not that guy like a Big Ben, and you have other guys that have to prove that they deserve the job, what's wrong with that? That's what I want. Will Howard is not coming to the Steelers and just going to be satisfied with being a backup. That's not in his DNA at all. And he might be the quarterback steal of the draft where he was drafted. The Steelers spent a lot of draft picks on offensive linemen. They got a top 5 defense. You saw that they drafted Caleb Johnson from Iowa. They're ready to do this. The Steelers are ready to play football. So I don't know what everybody, like all the media, even media in Pittsburgh who cover the team, they're all losing their minds like it's a big deal. No, they're ready to do, I hate to use this comparison, but a certain Baltimore Raven quarterback, Trent Dilfer, they're ready to pull a maneuver like that. Mike Tomlin, everybody's criticizing Tomlin. He doesn't know what he's doing. They're a disgrace. This is one of the best drafts that Mike Tomlin's ever had, and this is some of the best decision-making that Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan have made since Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Steelers. He didn't reach for a player. He didn't set the organization back another couple of years because of outside media pressure to take a quarterback. We got a loaded team. Robert Woods, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, loaded offensive line, Pat Freiermuth, top 5 defense. The only reason why we weren't a top 5 defense last year is because the offense was so bad. They were 3-and-out the whole year, and we ended up like number 15 in the league, 13. It doesn't matter. But they would have been a top 5 defense if we had any type of offense. So we're close. All this, sometimes I think the media just needs to come up with things to talk about so they to create their own narrative or their own dramatics, whatever you want to call it, their own drama. But there is no drama in Pittsburgh. The plan is the plan. And Mike Tomlin is sticking to the plan, doing his job, and he's doing a good job of it. I'm glad he didn't go into the draft and say, you know what? I got so much pressure on my head right now. I'm drafting Shedeur Sanders. That's not what the Pittsburgh Steelers needed. They needed to be patient. Pick the right players. Derek Harmon has a chance to be the next Cortez Kennedy on the defensive line. 6'5", 315 pounds, doesn't take a play off, has a type of toughness you can't coach. He's that type of guy. You don't take a quarterback that's not a guarantee over a defensive lineman who literally has the potential to be the next Cortez Kennedy. I was comparing him between a mixture of Mean Joe Green and Warren Sapp, but if you look at the size of him, if you look at the size of Derek Harmon, and then you really analyze all of the defensive tackles through history, he really reminds me of Cortez Kennedy. He's from the Seattle Seahawks, played at the University of Miami. We all know how his career turned out, a total unstoppable force for like 20 years. So I love the pick. Let's see what Chucky had to say about the Steelers quarterback position. Jon Gruden skeptical of Steelers QB plan. I don't know what Pittsburgh's doing. Well, John, they know what they're doing. They got one quarterback on the roster. Gruden told co-host Dan Big Cat Katz at Eric PFT commentator Sollenberger, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe Aaron Rodgers, like he's going to solve all your problems. It sounds great, but 2 years ago, he was out for the year. And last year, I think he had his hands on the ball inside the 2-minute drill 5 times with a chance to win and didn't get it done. In fairness, this was before the Steelers selected Howard, and Gruden also didn't account for Skylar Thompson being on the roster with his one quarterback reference. Still, neither presence should change minds on the Steelers' 2025 outlook, one that carries plenty of uncertainty over who will be the team's starting Q. There's not a lot of uncertainty. Stop with the stupid narrative. If Aaron Rodgers comes, great. No, he signs. But guess what? If he comes, do I think that automatically means he gets handed the job? He'll get most of the reps. But let's just say, you're going to be like, you're an idiot. Let's say Will Howard shows up, and you can see in the reps that he's getting that he deserves to be the starter. Coach Tomlin is going to make him the starter. They know what they're doing. They have a plan. There's this whole notion in the media that Coach Tomlin has no clue what he's doing. That's the furthest thing from the truth. He's not in camp right now, he said. You got to learn the offense. You got to build some camaraderie with your team. Gruden also went on to say, I don't know what Pittsburgh's doing at quarterback. Gruden noted, I was kind of shocked they didn't take a quarterback at number 21. Oh, John, you know what? Do me a favor. If you're not going to follow the Steelers and make it your life to follow them and understand the team and what they're about and following the traditions of starting your team, rebuilding your team from the defensive line, from the inside out, unless there's Dan Marino on the board, obviously, then just don't make comments. Because you're doing a lot of speculating and a lot of criticism with about this much knowledge of what's actually going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers rookies get their jersey numbers. They get their jersey numbers revealed. I mean, this is a super exciting day for the rookies. Will Howard gets number 18. Jack Sawyer gets 33. Dante Kent gets 34. Carson Bruner gets 44. Yaha Black gets 78. And number 99 goes to Derek Harmon. I love that number for Big Derek. Number 20, Caleb Johnson. Big day for the rookies getting their numbers. You know, I didn't think the Steelers were going to trade George Pickens after the draft because I thought if they were going to trade him, it would have happened during the draft. But then when I saw the Steelers sign Robert Woods, it really makes me believe that they're going to try to get rid of George before the season. You know, Robert Woods has been in the league a long time. Seems like a legitimate number 2 receiver. So you got DK, Robert Woods, Calvin Austin III. So where does that leave George? I don't know. I don't think if I had a bet, the Steelers know it's not going to end well with George. They know once he gets into camp and sees all the attention that DK is getting, he's going to absolutely lose his mind. And they're probably trying to get rid of him before the season starts. And I'm all for it. It's time to say goodbye to George Pickens. was nice knowing you, nice doing business with you. But here's the thing, though. Nutjob George had a chance to go to the Cowboys. The Steelers said, we don't want you on the roster and happy. If you want to be a Cowboy, we'll make the trade happen. And George Pickens said, I love Mike Tomlin. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to stay here. But then his behavior paints a totally different picture. And the day of the draft, he unfollows all of the Pittsburgh Steelers on social media. Like, George, it's not us just being bored, making up lies about you. Why the day of the draft would you decide to go on social media and unfollow the Pittsburgh Steelers on all your social media? Are you jealous? Do you want people to pay attention to you, so you're trying to ruin everybody else's moment? Because you don't make sense. You want to be a Steeler, but then you do something like that where you know people are going to bring it up and talk negatively about it or shift attention to you. Like, grow up already. All right, I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.